Okay. Where was it? Okay. Good afternoon, or good morning, or good evening, or what time of day you're watching this report. My name is Gian Cediño of the second year Pulsi of Liceo, and I am joined today with.
Micah, Cunanan, also a second year major in pol sci.
Okay, today we'll be discussing about how computers connect to other computers. So, just a quick note for those who are listening. There's a lot of components for computers, and well, this is one of them, connecting. There are wireless connections, and there are also those connections where you need a specific type of cables and wires to connect. And today we'll be talking about that, and we'll start with computer network systems. So, computer network systems are interconnection of two or more computers. Now, there are actually a lot more from what I've researched and from what Miss Micah researched, but since we're following the book, we're going to be talking about PAN, LAN, and WAN. So, um, we'll start with PAN. Now, PAN, or Personal Area Network, is a type of connection which is often limited to an individual or to the person who are around him and his or her personal devices. And normally, these devices must be within the range of 10 meters with each other, or in a specific range where it is good enough for your laptop and for your mobile device to connect. Now, this could be your laptop, a smartphone, and a portable printer. And these three could interconnect with each other depending on your preferred type of connection, whether you want to connect with a cell phone, with your laptop, anything. So yeah, that's span. So it's generally explained from its definition. Now we'll be talking about local area network. Now this is it's bigger than pan, but it's still small on a smaller scale because in its definition, it means local area network, or a group of computers and other devices share a common communications line within a certain area, such as a building or a small campus. Now, I think most of the guys who played Dota or other games in a computer shop would know what a LAN is. So for those who don't know what a LAN is, it's basically you connect with other computers or within that specific building or that specific area. Well, although it's not limited to 10 meters, just like for PAN, but the local area network is that you connect from different sets of computers where you can exchange storage, you can exchange file. But for those who play video games, this is to exchange, not necessarily exchange, but to connect with each other to play a PvP death match in Dota or in CS, or in Counter Strike. So, well, granted, not many people use this type of of this system anymore because most of the people are already using a wireless type of a network, of which we will talk about in the next part of the topic. But today we'll be talking about LAN, and yeah, I think a lot of people, especially youngsters who go to internet shops and computer shops, yeah, they know what LAN is, and it's basically just to connect computers from different computers to exchange something, or to for those gamers out there to play a person versus person type of match. So yeah, that's a local area network, or LAN. Now, wide area network is less restrictive than LAN. It's actually bigger than these two combined. But yeah, to explain what a WAN is, it's a wide area network again. It may be less restrictive than LAN, as rules and policies may differ within its coverage. A WAN may be made of several LANs and PANs. A WAN can also be made up of several more WANs, and this is why WAN is considered synonymous to the internet. So most of the things that you would be using right now is WAN because a lot of it is connected through internet, and most of it is basically just made up of PANs and LANs until it creates to a amalgamation of a big network called WAN. Now, a lot of people has been using WAN for a long time, and yeah, honestly speaking, local area network and personal area network, it only works if you have if you really have an emergency, or if it's really needed. But now it's not really needed because most of us around the world use WAN or wireless or a wide area network, and then we could connect with each other better, and it would and the connection is insurmountable in terms of the range because it takes up a geographical state. So meaning you don't have restrictions like your local area network and your personal area network, and you're pretty much connected to everybody. So you have anything to add with that, Miss Micah?
So yeah, basically with what Gian has said earlier, one is basically for large scale. It's basically the largest and most expansive forms of computer networks available to date, unlike bands and LANs, which are only limited to. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Limited to speed. So yeah.
So, thank you for your insights, Miss Micah, and I'll be moving up to methods of communication now. Uh, Now, this we'll be talking about is a we'll be talking about a wired network. Again, from its title there, it's more on wired communication. So most of the things we'll be talking about will be wires. So previously we were talking about the network of its systems. So there's LAN, there's PAN, and there's WAN. Now we're going to talk about the wired communication. So firstly, we'll talk about USB or the Universal Series Bus. No, not to confuse with flash drives. Okay, I think everyone knows already that flash drives and USBs are innately different because USBs are basically just the tip thing from your from your plug outlet. Yeah, that's the thing where you put
That's it.
it. Yeah, that's USB. That's a USB, and the flash drive is the thing that stores behind the USB. It's a storage. Now, for me to explain USB on a short and concise manner, it allows the computer to communicate with system peripherals. So, meaning um, once you connect it to a computer or you plug it in, it's basically like a how would you say? Think of an analogy, like a where it's like a dock or an airport where for information to transfer to another computer, they have to use a USB to basically go from different computers. So it's kind of like that, but if you put it in, if you look at it in a computer sense, it's more of like a way to transfer different storage devices or your files and everything. It's the USB's job because if you don't have a USB from your for your plug, then you're not gonna be able to transfer a lot of devices, unless if we're talking about Bluetooth, which is another whole topic in of itself. So yeah. Now next I'll be talking about Firewire. Now, Firewire can transmit data to and from devices which have typical high data rates. So, meaning it's like a USB, but it's sort of a faster version of a USB, sort of an improved version of a USB, an upgraded version. Yeah, that's the term, because sometimes a USB is it's an old system. It's an old type of. Well, I won't say old since a lot of people are still using USBs today, but yeah, for the most part, Firewire is just an upgraded version of a USB, so that you could transfer data and files faster. Again, this is just a form of connection, and there it has no bearing for any storage. It's just meant to pass. It's just meant to pass different files and storage from different computers and not holding storage. So yes, that's about it. So yes, Micah, you continue for Ethernet cable.
Yeah, so proceeding on to Ethernet cable, it's a connector which transmits signals between a computer and network devices. So since it's pretty much, since most of us already use the internet, I think only a few of us, or like only a few ones remain in using Ethernet cable. So like this type of connector basically is used in routers or in switches and other computers. So most of us use Wi-Fi. So I don't think I don't think many of us are still using Ethernet cables anyway. So next would be the HDMI, which is pretty much familiar to all of us since we use it for to connect our laptops and our computers to projectors. So it's defined as a high definition multimedia interface which transmits audio or video data compatible to computers, projectors, and digital televisions. Furthermore, we also have older computer units which have connections. First, we have the VGA, which is the video graphics array, a standard connector used for computer video output. So in this computer unit, it basically encompasses a 15-pin connector in it. So it's used for video cards, computer monitors, laptop computers, and projectors. However, as I have mentioned, it's a older computer unit. It is slowly being phased out in favor of the faster and more compact HDMI connector. Now we have the serial, which is the RS2320 connection, a single communication link, which is used to transfer data from an end to another. And correlating that with parallel, which is defined as multiple links that are used to transmit each bit of data simultaneously. So while these two are similar, from the name itself, it says serial, which uses a single line to send data. It's the process of sending data one bit at a time, sequentially over a communication channel or a computer bus. On the other hand, parallel communication uses several lines to transfer data. It sends multiple bits as a whole on a link with several parallel channels or computer buses. Now we also have the which is a 6-pin connector used to connect the mouse and keyboard to a computer. We'll be showing you an example of that later. And now we have audio jacks, which is defined as the 3.5 millimeter jacks used for microphones and speakers. So yeah, how about proceeding to the picture so they'll know how it looks like.
So yeah, just to add a little bit, Miss Micah, a lot of this cables, they're mostly some of them are old. Some of
Yes,
them
sir.
are old, especially the Ethernet cable, the USB or other types of wired. Because most of these days, especially again, I'm gonna mention it again and again. We're now in an age where basically wireless networks reign supreme. Granted, there are still you still need to plug some stuff in your phone, your laptop, but it's mostly to do things that wireless things can't do, like charging your phone or yeah, charging your phone, charging your laptop. That's basically what wired systems like this yeah, they mostly do things that they mostly do things that can't be done in a wireless network. And for the most part, to move to the next topic, yeah, we're already in an age where we're using wireless networks such as Bluetooth and everything, and that will be explained in the wireless communication. So there are two types of wireless communication that I think most of us like everyone in this world uses, unless if you're in a country where it's still in the 1980s. Well, I'm not gonna talk about that, but yeah, we'll be talking about Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Now, everyone knows what a Wi-Fi is. It's basic. It's not your internet per se. I think a lot of people tend to mismatch Wi-Fi and internet. It's not. It's not. So Wi-Fi uses radio waves to wirelessly transmit information across a network. So that's merely what it does. It doesn't really give you directly an internet to connect. It's just a radio wave that goes through different areas. Specifically, if you have it connected to your house, it goes from your house, or depending on how strong the signal that Wi-Fi is, and that's about it. It's just a radio waves that go around in specific areas. It doesn't necessarily transmit internet directly. You still have to connect some Ethernet cables that are connected to some to where there's like a little there's like a little jack in your house for the internet to connect. That's where you connect the Ethernet cable for your Wi-Fi, and yeah. So next is Bluetooth. Now again, you'll start to see a pattern here with wireless communication. It's first of all, it's wireless, and second, it uses radio waves to connect to other devices. So from what I've discussed a while ago, you see the wireless communication is more of an upgrade. Well, sure, an upgrade, but there are still times that you have to use wired connections, but you only use this if it's viable for both parties. But yeah, the purpose for this too is to connect things without using wires, and to make it easier for for both parties again to connect. But I'm not saying that wired cables are like obsolete, but these are created to improve and to improve and to increase the fluidity of your signal, of how you connect to the internet or to other mobile devices. So yeah, that's mainly for wireless communication. So next is how humans communicate with computers. So yes, I think Miss Micah will take the floor for this one.
Yes, thank you very much. So defining computer software or computer programs, it's a combination of instructions, data, and programs that the computer needs in order to do a specific task. So basically, everything the computer does can basically be controlled through these programs. So what exactly is a program? So it's a set of codes or instructions usually designed or written by computer programmers using a specific programming language, to which a common type of this programming language is object-oriented programming. We also have in object in object-oriented programming, we have language including Microsoft's C Sharps, Microsoft's Java, and an open source programming language which is PHP or hypertext preprocessor. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'd like to add a little bit for that. So the this topic it's mostly gonna talk about different operating systems, since we're already done with the how we wired communications, wireless communications, and networking from our computer. We'll be talking about mainly how we communicate with computers, and when we say communicate, we mean how we use them in our day to day basis. So yeah, for next topic, we'll be talking about system software or operating system or OS. I think a lot of us know what an OS is, or for me to enlighten for those people who don't know, an operating system or an OS It manages the computer's memory and instructions, has the ability to control all the connected hardware and installed software applications. So it's basically important to have an OS because it's like the hmm. Would you agree, Micah, if it's like a brain of your computer or more of like an instruction for your computer to work?
Yeah, that makes sense. The
Yeah,
instructions of
yeah,
that
yeah,
important.
yeah. Because if you don't have an OS, then I guess your computer would. I wouldn't say won't run, but chances are the your computer running smoothly won't be
Yeah.
yeah, won't be smooth, and it would take a long time for things to process if you don't have an operating system. Now,
That's
with an
true.
yeah, with an operating system, a lot of things are already installed, like it's software, application. So it's like the Ten Commandments, siguro. It's like a Ten Commandments that God put upon us. But for this instances, it's a computer. So most of its creator or yeah, the creator like Steve Jobs or Bill Gates, they've already inputted a lot of stuff in the operating system for the computer to work. And next, for system software or operating system, is application software. It's basically it consists it consists of programs designated to perform specific tasks for users. Now, from the word itself, application software. It's like you see those like little things like little boxes on your computers or in your mobile phones. Yeah, those things are application software. It has its specific task for different types of purposes for any user that uses the laptop to use. Now, system platforms, any hardware or software use host an application or service. Pretty basic, pretty basic. So, um, there are three common types of OS that a lot of people use, which is Microsoft OS, Windows OS. I mean, Microsoft is the company that made the Windows operating system. Uh, Second is an Apple iOS, or yeah, an iOS, and an Android. Android is for Samsung, if I'm not mistaken, right, Miss Cunanan?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, mm, pretty basic. I think most of us know what are different types of OSs. But for me personally, I use an iOS since it's an iPhone and it's impossible to use a Windows operating system or a Android operating system in your iPhone since they have their since the creator specifically created their own operating system for these types of cell phones or laptops or any type of devices you do. So uh, there are different types of application programs. There's word processing software, which is your WordPad if you're using a MacBook, Notepad if you're using a MacBook, or but for the most part, since we most of us use like a Windows type of operating system, we'll be most likely using Microsoft Word. Now, there's also database software, which is your Oracle, Microsoft Access. Pretty standard for different operating system. You got your spreadsheet software, the Apple numbers, or your Microsoft Excel, your multimedia software, the Real Media media player, enterprise software, information worker software, educational software. A lot of this simulation application. Now, a lot of these may be confusing to you, but most of these have their own type of usage, their type of definition, and their own type of system. Like for example, if you go to a simulation software, most of it would be simulation, like for aircraft simulation, or a military simulation. Most of it, most of these softwares have their own tasks and jobs to fulfill. Um, uh, I don't know if for gaming there's this engine called the Unity engine where a lot or it's basically free to create your own type of game, and I think this falls into. I think it should fall to a enterprise software, if I'm not mistaken, or information worker software, or I don't know if everyone if anyone who's listening to this, you could you could research on how where it falls in type of software. So yeah, there are a lot of softwares around your OS or your devices that basically have their own jobs and their own definition on what to do. And yeah, it basically helps us a lot because most of these have their own pre-programmed designation for us to help what type of situation we are currently in. For example, if you have to input a lot of the like how much you've earned for this month, you use an Excel for that, which is in a spreadsheet software. So it helps you compute all of that. And if you have any paperwork to be done, processing software does the job. So again, self-explanatory. A lot of this stuff is already pre-programmed and waiting for you to use. So next will be online application software. Now, again, like the previous application software, it consists of programs designed to perform specific tasks for users. But the key word here is the word online. As such, online application software is now introduced with the improved internet speed. So this type of software, or yeah, this type of software is it relies and it heavily relies on your internet speed or your internet connection, and that's because it helps us connect to each other easily. If you have to send email, that's basically your online application software. And it's basically an online version of your application softwares, where for example, your Word, currently Word has an online version of it where you could create your own templates, or you could download other templates online. You can send it to whoever you deem to send that Microsoft Word to. It's because it's online. And a lot of this is due to its online productivity tools, which are also available for organizations such as data collection and analysis, especially those in the marketing industry. Now, with online productivity tools, this is very big help for those who are let's just say having a hard time computing stuff, because let's be honest, not all of us are really good in math. And well, online productivity tools help us compute stuff instant with a click. So if you for example, if you open up Microsoft Excel and you put a specific type of formula in it, it automatically computes your desired amount that you want to compute. So it is also an advantage, as it helps those people who have little to no IT background in creating their own blogs and websites through said online tools. So yeah, with the help of online application software, it helps a lot of those people who have no educational background in IT, or who have little to no background on like websites and everything. It's because of online application software that most of the people these days can create their own types of blog sites, websites, everything. uh, yeah, everything is basically, I wouldn't say pre-made, but everything is already there, and then all you need to do is do some of your own stuff, and then if you think that it's good, make a website. That's how simple it became. Unlike before, where you have to really put different types of code sources, program. It's basically the stuff of IT students, and with the help of online application software, it basically eases a lot of the problems that most people couldn't do. Like again said, with having little to no IT background education. So An example for online application software that a lot of people use in creating logos or creating their own websites is WordPress and Wix. So WordPress, it's a very well-known website to create your own blog posts, your website, everything. It's basically pre-made, and the templates there. And all you need to do is pick which one you like. And same with Wix. But for Wix, you use there's different types of logos that you could pick, and it basically makes the job easier. So yeah, I think we've pretty much said everything for our report. Other than you have anything to add, Miss Micah?
So, all in all, just to summarize all of it, the OS or the operating system basically allows a person to interact with the computer, from the hardware components and peripherals to all the installed software applications and files one has stored on the computer. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
I'd like to add a little bit since we're basically at the end of our report, and I'm just gonna throw in some stuff where so a lot of these systems have been very helpful to us people to do our jobs, especially in this pandemic. And I think Miss Micah could agree that a lot of her projects and a lot of her assignments wouldn't have been accomplished because of because of the softwares, this the network connections, this application softwares, everything that we need is basically in a computer, and without it we couldn't do what we could do normally today. If it wasn't made if it wasn't made today, or if it wasn't invented, then we would have had a hard time doing a lot of normal stuff that we are currently doing now. So yeah, I think that sums up our report. My name is Gian Cediño,
I am Micah Cunanan.
and we are concluding our report on computer softwares, its connection, and its how we could interact with it, and its connectivity. So yeah, I think that's it. Thank you.